Hello everyone and welcome to the Sports Sit-Down. My name is Sunay Sanghani and we are ready to have our 8th show. First we have Nate joining us, CJ, and Kieran. The original crew is back at it. So we're going to talk about the NFL playoffs, the NBA, and then talk more about the NFL since after all it's about to end. Okay, so we have one playoff game going on right now currently live because it's a Saturday, and that means Saturday divisional football is going on right now. The Colts and the Chiefs are playing.
As of recording,
yeah. The Chiefs are big time as of now. It's 7-24. They just scored another touchdown right before we went live for a few minutes.
In the snow.
In the snow. It's snowing. Feels like 22. We were watching it.
And they get the ball back to start the second half.
So, guys, I mean, it's almost already game over. I think we have a game over here. So let's just make some predictions to go through. And let's also talk about the wild card weekend, which was wild.
Oh, definitely.
To say the least. Okay, Kieran.
So on wild card weekend, I'm obviously a Cowboys fan. He's an Eagles fan. We're different ways on that. But the Cowboys beat the Seahawks 24-22. I got a bit nervous there at the end.
But the
drop kick, they could not convert the onside kick. Cowboys beat the Seahawks but lose their secondary receiver, Allen Hurns. He had been a big target here. So I think Cooper needs to step up big tonight versus the Rams.
I mean, the drop kick really disappointing us rugby fans right here. But that was not the biggest kicking failure. Of course, we're talking about Parker over here.
That was awful. That was
double doink.
Oh, time out. It was blocked.
It was blocked.
Oh,
it was
no,
blocked.
it wasn't.
It was blocked.
It was blocked.
It barely touched him.
It was blocked.
Well, that changed the trajectory.
Yeah.
Trajectory. There we go. There's your
Yeah, but in the end, it's where it hit the crossbar. Because it hit the upright. Then if it hits the crossbar a tiny bit more to the right, it bounces in.
So what I picked up from Chris Collinsworth, who no one admires on his favorite.
Pretty reliable.
So you know how the laces of the football, right?
Yeah.
So I think it landed on the laces of football, and that's where it went.
So laces putting down.
Yeah, putting down.
laces
So
hit
then
the
it went
crossbar.
out. So if it would have been the other way, it would have been in.
Yeah, so that's just wrong.
That's the tip.
That's so
That's the tip.
As a fellow Eagles fan, I mean, he's happy, but I mean, the rest of the NFL,
I'm happy, but I'm not satisfied. That was such a close game, and the Eagles, I think they won the fight. Interesting note is that in the first half, closing seconds, it was a game of field goals. I don't think there's like 2 touchdowns scored, but in total. But the Eagles dropped an interception in the end zone, which could have killed three points. And also, the Eagles messed up on their 2-point conversion because they fumbled on the goal line for their 2-point conversion, which would have made it. But, I mean, Doug Peterson, great job by icing the kicker. I mean, he did it right on time.
He made the first one, too.
Yeah, exactly.
Even worse.
Okay, no, and one more thing. That interception would have been a pick six. There was no one.
Yeah,
was there no one within like 50 feet of him?
Maybe he would have been tackled from behind by the receiver, but there was no one in front of him.
Maybe, yeah.
Well, let's move on from that game to a different game. Of course, I want to talk about the resurgence of Andrew Luck.
Beating the Texans.
Beating the Texans.
Unfortunately,
21-7.
as a Texans fan right here, I was a little disappointed.
They got the
yeah, it was pretty bad.
21-7.
It was pretty bad.
I mean, if you're asking me, it kind of looked like classic Stanford when Luck was back there. I mean, just completely pummeling them in the first half, like get up the score 21-0, and then they just run out the clock in the second half. I mean,
did not score one.
It was enjoyable for me as a Luck and Stanford fan, but.
Yeah, but that's the question is that what happens to the Texans in the playoffs?
Yeah.
Like something just happens and poof, it all
I'm
goes
going to be honest,
away.
the one thing that I do see a lot is the Texans, they're kind of like the Oakland A's are, basically really good regular season. No, they build the team to do well regular season-wise. Playoffs come, it's just like the team's, like the magic elixir just worn off.
Sounds like the Dodgers.
Wow. Wow, okay. I mean, I wouldn't say that because the A's never went to the World Series. Dodgers did.
Dodgers haven't won a World Series.
Haven't
in like
won, but
50
they've gone.
years.
I mean,
So we got 2 baseball fans here and we got a Stanford fan here. That's what we
baseball
got.
fans,
Oh, yeah.
baseball fans, Stanford fan, and this
Stanford
guy. Yes. And if the game I want to talk about those is the one I think a lot of people underrated.
Neglect, in a sense.
And almost did. It was the Chargers-Ravens game. Now,
Yeah.
I was in class at Mission College, and one of my buddies was a Ravens fan, so he would probably have been the guy who's just crying the most. But, I mean, early on, it was like, what, 4 or 5 field goals from the Chargers. There was just no offense, period.
Yeah.
And then second half comes around, and it ends up being 33-28. But I think the one thing was just everyone was thinking, oh man, the Chargers, they're going to struggle. It's Lamar Jackson coming in. And I think what people underrate is that the Chargers had basically dealt with an offense like that earlier, and they'd already played the Ravens. So they had
that's a great point.
Didn't they play 2 weeks in a row?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
2
No,
weeks ago. 2 weeks ago.
There was week 16, 17, then the playoffs.
So the one thing
Ravens beat them the first
Yeah, I
time.
know.
Yeah.
But it's like Nick Saban prepping for the Oklahoma game. You give them time. They're going to go over that entire offense. They basically know what Lamar Jackson's going to do, which is this. He gets the ball, he's running it 9 times out of 10. And if he throws it, it's going to be like a trick play.
Oh, that's
Like a triple option in a sense.
And that's what we all thought until the last 2 minutes of that game where we saw an arm from Lamar Jackson that we didn't see all year.
Yeah, actually the last 7 minutes.
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson.
People
made an amazing
forget that
comeback.
Lamar Jackson has an arm. I mean, he didn't win the Heisman on just his legs.
No, he won it mostly on his legs. Right?
Well, so
He won the
threw the ball.
Heisman normally on his leg.
let me ask you this, okay? You have a great quarterback, Joe Flacco. You're paying him $20 million to sit on the bench. Of course, Lamar Jackson took over in.
Because Flacco was.
Yeah, Flacco was bad. Would you put Flacco in?
I mean,
I actually
Wait, when?
respected
When?
when they were down by like
So
more
down,
than
down by
40.
He was up.
down by 15.
Yeah, no, when the Ravens were down in the playoff game.
So down by
Harbaugh was
15
thinking-
going into the half.
Yeah.
Going into the half.
No,
I
after
at least
No.
after the first
after
3 drives in the third
3
quarter.
drives, I'd at least contemplate it.
Yeah.
I would at least have contemplated it.
Harbaugh definitely was contemplating it. I saw Flacco on the sideline, like big warmer off. His helmet was on. His helmet wasn't on, but both him and Lamar Jackson were standing with the coach, helmets in hand. They did go back to Lamar Jackson.
I think what
though.
you got to do is you got to give like hope to your rookie in this situation because Lamar Jackson led them to the playoffs in that last closing stretch.
Which is true.
And I think you got to show hope in your rookie, like just be like, oh yeah, sometimes this happens, sometimes you lose, and like these crucial situations. We just got to move on from this and move on to the next season.
Yeah.
But the one thing I will say to kind of counter your point is, do you take experience over the guy who's never played under that? Because Flacco
led the team to the Super Bowl.
Well, the
But
other,
Lamar
beating the
Jackson's the
Niners.
quarterback of the future.
other thing that can be
For
said is that
Baltimore.
if the Chargers played Lamar Jackson twice, only a few teams have played Lamar Jackson twice, even their division rivals, because Flacco started the first that season. So does that mean that the Chargers figured out Lamar Jackson? Because for so long, Lamar Jackson
was
unstoppable.
They could not do anything.
He was so dynamic, and this game he got shut off. And at the end, he came alive. But yeah, and we also can I point out we saw so many onside
But he
kicks.
never really came
yeah.
alive with his legs. Like,
But with his arm.
Yeah, with his arm.
Yeah, arm. But and so I think he's kind of having.
So the Chargers did a great job of shutting down his running game, which is his main attribute.
Which means he kind of had to fit back into the Alex Smith mold of pocket
Yeah.
passer, which is not his strong suit.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I mean, I think it was. I don't know if the Chargers got lucky in a sense, or if it was more the Chargers set their game plan up to counter one thing, so they made him adjust.
Okay. Maybe. But now, interesting thing is because the Chargers have a hard task of facing the Patriots.
Yeah.
So what do we think for that game?
Right?
Real quick, what do we think for that game?
I'm gonna trust the Chargers. I think.
Oh wow.
I think they have a better defense than the Patriots. I mean, obviously Joey Bosa, but then you also have a strong secondary. And then
Spike's still on
yeah,
the team,
yeah.
Tequila.
And then also like I think they just have a more balanced offense, a better run game in my opinion with Melvin Gordon. He has been a bit iffy in the course of the season, but I think the Chargers will pull it out in Gillette Stadium.
Yeah, and I'm actually, surprisingly enough, I usually wouldn't say this, but I'm agreeing with Nate only because you've just been seeing.
Are you saying you never agree with Nate?
Not always. We sometimes get into fights over who's the better AFL team. I mean, it's just facts.
Right there.
No,
right
it's
there.
not. It's no, it's not.
Cheer the red and
no,
the
it's
right.
not. I'm just saying this though. It's just the Patriots have just been getting older, and I think it's really starting to show they weren't as dominant as they have been.
True.
And
the Miami Miracle. I mean,
yeah, well, that was
Oh, come on.
That was just Gronk.
that was just
Gronk
But
missed
you know
the
what?
tackle
I'll say this, okay? Oh, real quick update here on the Kansas City game. Adam Vinatieri missed a 23-yard field goal, so it's 7-24.
Ouch.
But I'll say this much for what CJ said. It's at Gillette Stadium.
yeah. The one
That's
thing,
a place where the Patriots
one,
are. Like,
the
Yeah.
one
more.
thing I will say about Gillette Stadium, not baseball, soccer, New England Revolution plays there,
Yeah.
and football. It's hostile, no
Yeah,
matter
exactly.
what. And in winter, especially winter, you see
Oh,
all the
yeah.
Patriots
Yeah, yeah,
fans
yeah.
showing
Ice
up.
cream, yeah.
They are lining both sides, all four
Yeah.
sides, end zones packed.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you got the guys out in the Minutemen garb. It is just awful. It is a hostile environment. I mean,
I'm
But
also
the
going with
but the
Patriots.
Jags are crying out loud. Almost did that last
Jags
season
are
in
in it.
Gillette.
But yeah,
I'm
that's
going with
true.
the
That's
Patriots on this one.
I think they'll start out slow, but I think you're right. The Patriots will get it.
I'm going with the Patriots. I think
You're
running
such a New
game.
Englander. I mean,
Yeah.
come on.
Okay,
Come on.
so let's talk about the bad teams now. The ones who had to fire their coaches,
Besides
start over.
the Jets were just awful, period.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
thank you.
Yeah, so they had to fire their coaches, start all over. What was the best coaching hire of 2019? 2019, I guess.
Yeah. I'm going to have to go with Freddie Kitchens, I think. Well, actually, it's a close tie between Kitchens and Fangio, but I'll talk more about Fangio later. But Freddie Kitchens, you got to just go with your young quarterback. You're the first pick of the 2018 draft. And if he's performing well under Freddie Kitchens, then you hire him. I mean, Freddie Kitchens is now one of the most popular guys in Cleveland. And he led them to a winning record.
But pressure. A lot of
Under pressure.
Yeah.
And now he's the actual head coach.
But yeah,
I think that
what
was
a
the best
season by Cleveland.
Yeah.
They turned it around almost over 5.
Yeah,
I think they were
almost
over
could have
Yeah.
made the playoffs.
Yeah.
That was a
Well,
slight chance.
I don't have a good coaching hire, but I do have a worst coaching firing of the year.
Oh, go ahead.
Cincinnati, you're letting go of your
Marvin Lewis.
Marvin, I mean, come on. He was your longest tenured coach at 10 years. And they literally, it's like
16 years.
Or longer, I don't care. Man. He was there forever, essentially.
But-
it's like, we've had one guy. Who's that? Marvin.
But
And guess what? We fired him. Why? Because he had a really awful year.
he never won a playoff game with them.
Okay,
So
fine,
there's
but he's
a-
Didn't he win one?
No.
No.
Zero.
Yeah. I don't know.
Bagel.
I feel like it's kind of rough. I feel like that's a rough firing, though, just in general. It's
Yeah,
just,
I
he
mean,
was there
you
for
gave
so
a lot
long,
to
and he
the
was
city
so
of
consistent,
Cincinnati,
and he was
man.
so consistent.
These are from the days
He
of
was
Ocho
consistent.
Cinco we're talking about, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Chad 8-5.
I'm going with Adam Gase to the Jets. The Jets have had, I know Nate has a problem with that, but Adam Gase is a step up from Todd Bowles. I'm just going to say that.
But Bowles
I
was
will
awful.
agree with you on that. But
Adam Gase did have a losing record in Miami.
No, but here's the thing. His quarterback was Brock Osweiler and Jay Cutler.
Yeah.
That's pretty
There's
rough.
that. Now
That's
he
a
has
pretty
Sam Darnold,
rough draw, guys.
who- He's obviously not great. He's not even a top 3 of the rookie quarterbacks. But he's a very good. I think he'll come into his own over the next 3 years. Adam Gase made it to the playoffs once. He was 0-1 with Miami as they lost to the Steelers a couple years ago. He was 23-25, but he was like a huge coaching prospect going into Miami.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's true.
yeah, that's
And
right.
Kieran, just a question.
So he had a lot of potential.
Yeah.
I think that's still there.
Kieran, just a question. Ask you. I mean, do you think that the record might actually understate how good he is? I mean, Nick Saban used to be the offensive line
Yeah.
coach
Yeah.
at Miami, then went to LSU, and now I mean,
Yeah,
he's got
I
the
mean,
what do you- what-
the
I
thing
mean,
with
what do you-
Miami is that it's
But still,
Miami.
yeah, I know,
you
but still, you look at him then and you're going like, no way he's going to be a coach anymore. And he
Yeah.
turns it around LSU, and now he's got the ultimate job security in Alabama.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, just got his butt handed to him by Clemson again.
Yeah.
Second time in 4
He
years.
Yeah,
did
they-
get his butt handed to him 2 years ago. Sean Watson dove
Okay,
into the end zone with 2
35-21
seconds to
fine,
go.
but still. Yeah.
But here's the other thing is that when you have so many offensive hires, this is almost all the coaches
Well,
hired for offense.
the expectations, Vic Fangio, defensive
Well,
coordinator.
no, but here's the thing for that. They hired Gary Kubiak, the OC, who was a Super Bowl champion. So that they got the best of two worlds.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
So that's what I'm thinking is this the quarterback league now? Is that fair to say,
Yes.
Nate?
Well,
Yeah.
I mean,
Or-
it's the league where Clay Matthews blows up Alex Smith
yeah,
and 15
yeah.
yards for roughing the passer.
Yeah.
Where even Alex Smith is going, that's a legal hit.
Yeah.
It's bad when the quarterbacks are telling the league, guys, if it's a legal hit, fine, just don't throw the flag immediately. As soon as you see, so now I'm gonna as soon as you see that, we're not playing soccer where it's this and
That's
you're flopping.
15 yards, though.
And you're flopping on the ground, And then,
That was
and then,
pretty
and then,
aggressive,
hey,
CJ.
Kieran, and then tweets going out, the man with the injured hairs flopping on the ground fussing about his hairstyle. Oh my gosh! Ah!
15 yards. Nate.
You brought
Oh,
up
I'm so sorry.
Vic Fangio. You brought up, that's interesting. That's the only defensive hire head coach. You
Yeah,
are right.
I mean,
in a sense.
he was the defensive. He was after leaving the NFL to join a Harbaugh at Stanford, who he developed that defense to one of the top defenses in the country.
Where's it gone since then?
Pardon?
Where's the defense gone since then?
Oh, okay. Well,
Okay,
that's besides
okay.
the point. Went with Harbaugh to the 49ers, developed a pretty good defense there. Then went to the Bears, and we know how their defense has been this year. Dominant. Khalil Mack. And now hired by the Broncos, who have a pretty good defense. I think that was a smart hire.
Yeah, but I think the Broncos also kind of running out of options. I mean, people are calling for Elway's head on a pike.
Yeah.
Okay,
Which is
so
pretty bad.
let's move on to three things now.
Well,
which
actually,
will relate it.
can we also talk
What's up?
about, in my opinion, the biggest hire of the not the best one, the biggest one with the most hype behind it. Cliff Kingsbury at Arizona.
I just don't agree.
Well, the
with
thing
that
is,
hire.
you go from a losing record at Texas Tech, not the most affluent college in terms of college football.
Well, it's Texas Tech.
I
it's the
don't-
Red Raiders.
I don't,
I
you
know,
know,
but
here's
then you
here's
go
the
to
bad.
then you go to USC as the offensive coordinator.
For
Next thing
2
you,
days,
for a couple days, next thing you know, you're a head coach in the NFL.
Well, okay, but here's the thing, okay? I just don't get. If your coach is the most hyped and talked about person, you have a problem.
Yeah.
That's
Like,
pretty
I could
bad.
argue that he's more popular right now in Arizona, or he will be eventually if he wins, than Larry Fitzgerald, who's their best player. Like,
Yeah.
I hope
if your
not.
coach is that talked about, and I mean, there was so much hype around this. Everyone wanted him. You talk about USC, the Jets. Everyone wanted Kingsbury, and I didn't get it.
And
Okay.
It might just be he's underrated. I mean, Cliff Kingsbury, he is from Texas Tech, and Texas Tech has
Patrick
had
Mahomes.
The air raid
the air raid
offense.
offense, guns up.
Developed by
the whole
Mr.
thing,
Mike Leach.
But the thing was, Leach until he went to Washington State. Because,
Pirate.
No. He got kicked out because one of the players' dads was a lawyer and basically got him fired. Actually,
Oh, long story short.
yeah, you know about that actually. No, not that one. A different guy. Doesn't matter.
okay.
But I think it just might be he might be more of an underrated guy than because I mean Texas Tech they play in the Big 12 for crying out loud. That's an offensive-driven league. That you're not easily.
That's all
Yeah,
offense. Yeah.
I mean, you saw Oklahoma play Texas twice.
Wait. Can we just speak a bit about Oklahoma though?
Wait,
Because
you mean Kyler Murray defecting from
Tex-
the A's?
No. I mean, I'm talking about Kyler Murray, but Kingsbury said that he would draft
Kyler Murray with the number one pick
pick
in the NFL
and
draft.
Guess what?
Now
Guess
he has
what,
the number
Cliff?
one pick in the
You have
NFL
the number one
draft.
pick.
Pick in
I
the
mean, what
draft.
you gonna
They're
do?
not going to pick Kyler
Team
Murray,
need,
though.
team need, or
No, they have Josh Rosen, and they'll develop him. I think Kingsbury's good for Josh Rosen. but
yeah, I agree.
They've already shot that rumor down. So let's move on to three things. We got over 10 minutes left. Parkey challenge. So
Oh boy.
a lot of people made fun of Cody Parkey. So I think ESPN, someone hosted a little Parkey challenge where they asked him to make a 43-yard field. People that make 43-yard field goals. No one succeeded. People fell. It was really
Pretty
ugly and embarrassing. Yeah. Then Steph Curry reached third all-time three-point list. I thought he was third all-time, and he's only 30, so he has a long playing career remaining. And then also, Sean McVay has so much coaching influence. Guys, pending today, this will make you happy. He has 0 playoff wins, but there's so many coaches that are hired
I know.
related to Sean McVay.
And
Kid's
it's
like,
going to
"Yeah."
be 0
Let's
wins
just-
after tonight, too.
Let's just hope the Cowboys don't choke, and then that fact will be true. Okay, so pick one, guys.
We're going to win.
I want to talk about Sean McVay.
Oh,
I believe
boy.
he's the youngest head coach in the NFL. He's got a young staff as well. I mean, I don't have the names off the top of my head, but I know they are receiving a lot of entrance.
His offensive coordinator is so old.
Well,
besides the
no,
coordinator.
defensive coordinator, but
Yeah, my
Zach,
bad.
Zach Taylor
Yeah.
is one of them.
The
Matt
quarterback's
LaFleur.
coach. Yeah.
Oh, LaFleur,
Um,
he's great.
Yeah.
There's another one.
Some other dude.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There
some
are
other
a
dude.
lot more.
Hey, no, it's Kobe Bryant.
But they just you got I mean, if you have young coaches, people will want to take them off of you and into a better position.
Oh, even Kingsbury, because
Yeah.
apparently the rumor is, or not the rumor, but like they wanted Kingsbury as their offensive coordinator.
Yeah,
So
Wow.
everyone was like, "Oh wow, Kingsbury." But
Maybe
Oh,
that's why.
I would have
Yeah.
been.
Yeah,
I would
so-
have.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Parkey challenge. I mean, you're just watching the videos.
yeah,
It's the bit where
Check it out.
I'm actually. Here's the thing. I'm actually gonna say this, Nate. You want to go try that in the snow with the crowd all around you? You've
Well,
got
here's
like
the thing. People
17.
fell. People fell.
Well,
Like,
it's
it was
so
slippery.
snowy. I mean, that's the reason I get my.
I would do it for the memes. I would not do it for my dignity. I would do it for the memes.
No, I get my football cleats out and actually see if I could actually attempt that, because I mean, there's no, by the way, I'm totally squibbing the kick short, but I might at least get that kick up. People, it's like these people weren't wearing football cleats and they were just face
Kicking it straight into the fence. Like,
I would at least, be trying to chip it like over everything and maybe just trying to get it to roll and then pick it up and go. But it's like, come on, guys.
I'm also gonna go with the Parky Challenge. He got so much hate on social media, and Sunay, I want to know if you're one of these people, Eagles fans, sending amazing sums of money to his house.
Yeah, I heard people getting donations.
Yeah.
Good lucrative business.
Miss one field goal and the opposing team is going, here's a
if I'm a
donation.
kicker-
Here's a get-rich-quick plan.
Exactly.
Become a kicker in the NFL.
Number one.
Pay off your team to make it a one-point game. Miss the kick.
What are we in the
There we
Ukrainian
go.
soccer league and we're betting on every game? What gives?
The other thing was that I just want to make this clear. It was blocked.
Yeah,
It was
blocked.
barely
It was blocked.
touched.
Okay,
Come
so
on.
I'm gonna pick
Shut up,
Steph.
Cows-
I'm
Cowboy fan.
gonna take Steph Curry, third all time in the list.
on, boy.
Cut it. He's third all time. He's 30 years old. I don't know what else he can do. This is the last year in Oakland. Hopefully they can get one more ring for Oakland. And yeah.
For the city.
Chase
For the
Okay.
city.
So I think we got just enough time to squeak in NBA awards. Let's do this quickly. So MVP, guys, come on, right off the bat.
Giannis.
Giannis.
Giannis. All right.
Harden.
Harden. He's been going off recently, but
40 points per game in like what
so
the last
I think
10?
we have it clear, right? It's Giannis or Harden.
Yeah, I agree.
Two.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was
So
kind of
next-
like that
yeah.
last year with
Rookie of
Westbrook
the
and-
year. This is obvious.
Luka
Doncic.
Doncic.
I mean, that's obvious.
Doncic.
20 points per game
Okay.
as a rookie.
Defensive player of the year. This is tough. I know who you have.
Holiday?
Yeah.
Repping the boys from the 905.
Okay.
You guys are never going to let me hear the end of that?
We're not.
Okay. Who do you have?
Westbrook?
I honestly,
Westbrook's not bad,
defensive
actually.
player is a
I
toss-up.
would go. I'm going Embiid.
Yeah, okay.
That's a hard one. DPOY
Westbrook
this year
or
is just
Embiid is what I was
Okay,
thinking.
what about this? MIP, most improved player. Who do we have?
Oh, I.
Yusuf
Boogie Cousins, I'm
Nurkic.
calling it right now.
Yusuf Nurkic.
Yeah.
Yusuf
Nurkic,
Nurkic had a mediocre last year, but this year he's been going
He's gonna be an all-star.
off.
Okay, how about we talk about this real quick, okay? Derrick Rose and Luka Doncic
Oh, boy.
are contending for more all-star votes
That's sad.
than James Harden.
That's sad.
And Giannis.
So,
Well, that's sad.
all-star vote will get a
Evidently
little
the fans-
interesting.
Evidently the fans are...
And Wade. Wade's way up there in the
Yeah,
All-Star
Wade's-
voting.
Yeah.
Okay,
I mean,
so
one less stance,
Yeah,
but
yeah, I think
So-
it's that. It might be that way for Rose too.
all right, so I think that does it for our show.
All
Oh,
right.
Coach of the Year. Sorry,
of the
one
year.
more.
Michael Malone of the Nuggets. I mean,
Yeah,
Nah,
I'm
I'm
going
with
with
you.
Malone too.
I'm gonna go.
They're
with,
first place in the West.
I'm actually gonna go with Budenholzer of the Bucks.
Yeah.
not bad.
Okay.
I mean, 29-12 with
Yeah.
a subpart, with not exactly.
Yeah, and,
the
and,
greatest
on
team.
top of Malone, I keep seeing Malone in the Toronto head coach right now. It's pretty,
Yeah,
it's
Nick
getting-
Kroll, Nick something.
yeah.
Nick Kroll.
Nick Kroll? I don't think so. He's
for,
my
for
team,
who?
but I just messed up.
Well,
No, but
for
he,
Coach of the Year?
Yeah, no, I've seen a lot. It's
Nick
those two.
something.
It's those two
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
I think it's mostly just because Toronto's
Okay.
doing so well.
You know what? Let's end it with the last wrangle.
All right.
30 seconds. You're on clock.
It always starts with me, but whatever. I want to talk about another Sean in the NBA, in the NFL. My bad, Sean Payton, and he went into his locker room with 4 guards, the Super Bowl, the Vince Lombardi Trophy, and $255,000 in cash. You want this? You just have to win 3 straight games. If that's not motivation, I don't know what is.
It's pretty awful. All right.
Meanwhile, Doug
my-
Peterson's just giving out ice
Ice
cream.
cream. Yeah, I was gonna
Ice
say
cream?
that.
Ice cream.
For me.
After
Video
this,
ice
you
cream?
guys are getting hot. We'll
Want
give you
some
some ice cream.
food?
We'll give you some hot
Yeah,
dogs.
we'll get some Haagen Dazs.
All right, here we go. All right, for me. Well, it's January, so it's, winter sports. Everyone's thinking about, hockey. The Sharks doing very well, by the way. And, of course, for me, I'm going with the weird sports again. Curling championships are abound everywhere. Of course, Nate, your Australian country just got owned in the women's Junior B competition, but we won't talk about that. Nova Scotia has like 8 different championships in curling going on right now. I don't understand it, period. It's getting pretty ridiculous. Yeah, that's about it. I'm just going to end it right there. It's curling, people. Grandma's winning the
Roast them
gold
in the
again.
comments.
I have a
Roast them in
question.
the
Have you ever
comments.
talked about
Nova
regular
sport?
sports?
Probably not. Why? I mean, probably not, actually. Why?
I'm going obviously the
Championship
MLB.
in Dubai.
Yeah, Dubai Racing Championship in
In
Dubai.
Dubai.
I'm gonna go with MLB obviously. Yankees, my team, signed DJ LeMahieu, who's been an all-star a couple times from Colorado. He was a free agent. Jed Lowry, underrated second baseman, signed with the Mets, who have also signed Robinson Cano and Edwin Diaz. So that team, CJ, you follow baseball. You don't think of them as a contender right now, right?
The Mets? No, they're going to be. They're doing.
They came out with
signing.
3 huge.
David Wright took up a
signs,
front office role with
Wright's in the front office.
And Wright's not a dumb guy.
NL East has usually been easy for the Nats. Like the last 5 years, it's been one of the worst divisions. Now we have the Mets, the Nationals, and the Phillies. Nationals getting old. They went down this year, but the Mets and Phillies and Braves, all big talent,
Kieran,
young teams.
I'm Kieran, better than that. Harper's moving.
Harper's gone.
Everyone knows that.
So,
everyone knows it.
Yep. Back to you, Sunay.
All right.
Back to Sunay
So
Sanghani.
let's talk about the playoffs, shall we?
All right.
Can we just say that I'm really surprised at the Dallas Cowboys for winning their first playoff game in over 20 years. I'm also pretty surprised that the Eagles pulled off a win, but we'll talk about that later. But can we just talk about offenses?
You mean the lack thereof?
The lack
In the Bears?
No,
I mean, it was.
needed.
All the games were close with the exception of the Colts game, essentially.
Well, but no, here's the thing, though. Whoever had zero offensive, one-dimensional offenses, that's what I'll put it as, lost the game.
Yeah.
And that just tells you the importance of
Multi-dimensional offense.
running backs, quarterbacks, and also
Wide receivers.
I mean,
a good
find you a
line.
guy
I
that
mean,
can
the
go.
Texans had no offense when DeAndre Hopkins was out of the game
Yeah,
for
and
2.5 quarters.
exactly.
And
Did I
that's
hear zero offense? I will give you zero offense for free.
And also the Bears, their passing game was doing great. Their running game wasn't. The Seahawks,
yeah, but the
their
Bears have a
passing game.
two-dimensional offense.
Yeah, I mean, Tariq, the
No.
two-headed monster.
Tariq
Cohen.
Sure, he
Cohen
couldn't do
and
anything.
Jordan-
He couldn't do
Yeah,
anything.
that's that game. But like as a whole, like the Ravens are a one-dimensional offense with the running game, but the Bears
But-
usually are.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying is that during this weekend, whoever had two-dimensional offenses won the game. And I feel like we can see a similar pattern for this weekend.
All right, can we get one final update on the game and then
Oh, yeah.
get
Yeah,
out of here?
Yeah.
When we last looked, the Chiefs were winning, and the Chiefs are still winning. So it doesn't really matter.
7-24.
All right.
So what? I mean, we're headed for a great month of January.
Oh, yeah.
Playoffs.
Yeah.
Freezing cold. We got curling too much.
Big plan for the sit-down in
The ice
29
sweep,
for the sports sit-down.
sweep.
in
I'm
29.
leaving
Okay,
in
so-
May, so we'll see you then.
All right, so that does it for our show. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you next time. I'm Sunay. That's Kieran, Nate, CJ. We'll see you later.